what's going on YouTube? Errol Spence versus Chris Algieri. Errol Spence gets the knockout in the fifth. Like I said, he needed this knockout, man. He needed a systematic breakdown, which that's what it was. It was a systematic breakdown. It didn't end with a lucky punch. He wasn't just throwing a bunch of punches, and he was able to catch Chris Algieri. He was setting him up and banging him on the ropes and everything. And I was saying he needed his knockout because he would have done something Ruslan Provodnikov, Amir Khan, and Manny Pacquiao wasn't able to do. And it's funny, like right after the knockout, the color commentators had mentioned it, and it was kind of saying that during the fight, because they felt as if Chris Algieri was going to get out of there, and it was like, man, if he gets Chris Algieri, out of here, by knockout, he would have done something like Manny Pacquiao couldn't do. I mean, Chris Algieri got up like 6 times up against Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, he a bad boy. So I just thought it would be like a statement. Errol Spence would have been making a statement if he was to knock out Chris Algieri, and that's what he did. Now, as far, I don't want to be too critical, man, because you got a lot of people, they kind of hide on Errol Spence. Like I said, he separated himself, which was great. No problem with that. But I don't know if you all, watched the fight or whatnot. But I noticed Errol Spence again getting hit, man. And I'd say he wouldn't get hit. It was just like they were like clean punches, like. Chris Algieri, he was setting him up with some punches. Chris Algieri wasn't wild or anything like that. He was defensively responsible. He just didn't have enough power to earn Errol Spence's respect. And with that, I really thought Errol Spence was, let his defense, wane a little bit as in certain spots in the fight. Now, when he was pressing forward and stuff like that, he had his hands up and whatnot. I mean, and he to me, he was like defensively responsible, but Chris Algieri was able to, counter with some right hands, especially to the body, and he was able to really set him up when he's he went to the body with the right, he went to body with the right, and they come over the top with that left. And a lot of times when Chris Algieri was kind of spinning out of the pocket, he was throwing that left hook. Like he would counter with that left hook, especially when what's the name threw the jab. Who's Errol Spence threw his jab. He'll counter with that left hook, and he was landing a lot, man. He was landing a lot. It was most obvious in the second because the color commentator had mentioned it. He's like, yeah, man, Chris Algieri is kind of catching him with a lot of these counter punches. And then he just kept moving on because Errol Spence was banging him to the body and stuff like that. But in those exchanges, Errol Spence is getting hit with some flush shots. And then in the fourth, I know Chris Algieri went down, but in the fourth, man, Errol Spence got buzzed by a right hand. You're going to see it. Chris Algieri is up against the ropes. I should play it back on the DVR, man, and give y'all the time. But check out that fourth round. Errol Spence gets hit with a right, and he shakes his head. He kind of backs off a little bit, but then he continues on. That's when Chris Algieri, pressed forward. But Errol Spence, he dug in. And he fought back, and I guess nobody noticed that. Nobody wanted to take notice to that, and that's what I keep seeing. That's why I keep seeing these Errol Spence fights. I'm like, man, he keeps getting hit flush, and I think it was somebody else. I want to believe it was Carcino last night. He had mentioned he was like, man, he does need to move his head, and I was like, thank you. I was like, am I the only one that's saying this, that he ain't moving his head? And I know it's probably like overly critical, but is this the same stuff they were saying about Paul Williams? Paul Williams, one of my favorite fighters. This dude threw like 100 punches around. You know what I'm saying? And they kept saying like, man, he keeps that right hand kind of low. I was like, yeah, but he all right. It's Paul Williams. You know what I'm saying? The Punisher. You know what I'm saying? This is Paul Williams. And sure enough, man, he faces a southpaw, and Sergio Martinez. And guess what ended up happening? Sergio Martinez threw that wild punch, and he knocked out, Paul Williams, because Paul Williams had that right hand low. Just at the right time, he had that right hand low. And then here comes Laura taking advantage of that right hand being low. And so, in saying that, yep, man, in saying that, power did make a difference, in this fight. And Chris Algieri just wasn't able to get Errol Spence's respect. But if Chris Algieri was if he had some pop, this dude is like less than 40% knockout ratio. Chris Algieri, he got less than 40%. I don't know where he stands right now. And you can look it up on BoxRec. But I know he's less than 40% because I was looking at Steve Cunningham's knockout ratio, and his is less than 40% too. So, yeah, man. And saying that, damn, BoxRec was nothing nice to Chris Algieri. He fell way below the top 100. Yeah, so Chris Algieri's at 33% knockout ratio. It was less than 40% when he was entering into the fight with Errol Spence Jr. But let's look at the rankings, man. Let's go ahead and look at these rankings, because like I was saying, Errol Spence, he keeps on getting hit flush with some of these punches. It's just that Chris Algieri, he couldn't do nothing. And then not only you have to look at the right hand, not only that you have to look at the right hand, but now you have to look at that overhand left. So if Errol Spence is more than likely is going to be facing orthodox fighters, right? Now what if an orthodox fighter has a left hook? Let's say if he has a left hook, or maybe something like a Wild Child, like a Maidana, or a Sean Porter, a Brawl or whatever, or whatever, and they see that they can implement, that left hook, they can implement that left hook, and get him on out of there. If he's, if let's just say if he's like Chris Algieri did, like he's laying on the ropes in the fourth round, laying on the ropes, backed up a little bit, high guard, and then he counters with the right hand. You know what I'm saying? Counter with the right hand because Errol Spence is getting all happy, with his offense. Or let's just say if any one of these guys is trying to, set Errol Spence up with that left hook, it's going to land. It's there. Chris Algieri was landing that left all day. You know what I'm saying? He was landing it. And Errol was getting hit with it. But I don't think anybody recognized it because, it's Errol Spence. He's looking hot. You know what I'm saying? He's beating up Chris Algieri. And Chris Algieri's got all these marks all over his face and stuff like that. So, anyway, man. Moving along, man. I think Errol Spence, the sky's the limit, man. The sky's the limit. I don't know who's going to fight next. He's the number one mandatory. He's talking about fighting Kell Brook. He's number for the IBF belt. He's the number one mandatory for Kell Brook. And to be honest, I don't think he's ready for Kell Brook. Some people might say yay, but I had to say nay because Kell Brook has great footwork, man. He has great footwork, and he has no problem spinning you and beating you down with his punches. Kell Brook is a strong fighter. He's a strong fighter. At 147. His knockout ratio is 70%. So he's got a lot of knockouts. He's got 25 knockouts, man. So he was knocking a lot of dudes out. And so in saying that, and then not only that, the dude's like a 154 fighter. You know how Keith Thurman talks about true welterweight. Kell Brook is a true welterweight. He's a junior middleweight. He's a junior middleweight. I don't know how he's getting down to 147 pounds, but he's a big cat, man. He's a big cat. All muscle. I mean, he was pushing. I mean, he ain't had no troubles with Sean Porter. Did he? And Sean Porter, you know, he used to play football. I don't even know how Sean Porter got down to 147. But yeah, man, he's a big guy, man. Errol Spence, you know, he's a big guy too. So we'll have to see, man. We have to see, man. I had to see it. Maybe they can get something going. They the same height, man. They both 5'9". I'm looking at BoxRec, man. They both 5'9". So let's see it then, man. You know, let's see it. I don't favor Errol Spence in that fight, but I gotta see it, man. After he beat down Chris Algieri so bad, this is something we gotta see. This is something we gotta see. We can't like speculate no more and say, you know, for me, I'm saying he's not ready for Kell Brook. But if he signs up for it, I'm like, okay, let's go ahead, let's go ahead, let's get it popping, man. Let's get it popping. I think he has, as far as winning against a star, you know what I'm saying, guys who maybe be available, you know, for him where he has a chance, and it's still a 50-50 fight. It'll be like Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, like Timothy Bradley, Jesse Vargas. That would be a great fight. Him and Jesse Vargas would be a great fight because Jesse Vargas will test that chin. That would be a great fight. And then I still want to see him fight one of these young cats, man, like Sammy Vasquez or something like that. Yeah, Sammy Vasquez would be nice. Some of these other guys that I'm seeing ranked below the maybe like the top 15 in the top 15. Maybe Bundu, maybe Leonard Bundu to see if he can handle a tricky guy, but I don't really want to see that fight. But I would like him to see, you know, to fight the American guys like Lamont Peterson, Sammy Vasquez, and I say that because you know, they're here. You know, they're in the United States. They're in the backyard, man. To me, it's good to clean up your own backyard. It'd be nice to get that Kell Brook Amir Khan fight going, but it don't look like they fighting each other. But yeah, if he clean up his own backyard, it'd be nice, man. Because, you know, Errol Spence is supposed to be the truth, you know, right here in the United States of America. If he can clean up the backyard and get rid of some of these dudes, it'd be nice. Robert Guerrero, nah. No, Robert Guerrero, he needs a winning streak. You know what I'm saying? Because Danny already beat him down. You know, that doesn't mean that, you know, Robert Guerrero can't beat Errol Spence. It's just that, you know, another L for Robert Guerrero wouldn't be much anything unless he knocked him out. Robert Guerrero's never been knocked out before. I mean, that's the only way he can separate himself from everybody else that's fought Robert Guerrero to get a knockout. And why risk it when this dude is kind of like on a losing streak anyway? So, but anyway, man, let me know what y'all think, man. You think Errol Spence is ready? You think he's ready? I think he is, man. I think he's ready, man. I think bashing up Chris Algieri was like, man, it's like, hey, I'm here, man. I'm here. So, great job by Errol Spence. Let me know what y'all think. Who would y'all like to see Errol Spence fight next? I still like to see Sammy Vasquez, Lamont Peterson, Jesse Vargas. I would really like to see Jesse Vargas because Jesse Vargas is young. You know, he's game. He's got some pop. He's got experience. Loads of like experience, especially with the trainers and stuff like that. He's young. He's a young champion, and I would love to see that fight. It might not happen because, you know, he's with like top rank, whatever. But if they was to make that happen, that would be a great fight. I'd say Jesse Vargas fight. Jesse Vargas and Danny Garcia. And the reason I picked Danny Garcia is because I think no matter how hard Danny Garcia gets hit, he'll still follow through on his combinations. That's where a lot of people mess up at. Danny Garcia times you, and we'll see how Errol Spence will react against a guy that probably hits as hard, if not harder, than him. I think Errol Spence might be hitting harder than Danny, but the fact that Danny is very like to me he's more mechanical. He's more methodical and mechanical, and I'm sure Earl maybe probably get caught up in the fact that he's able to probably maybe get in a few punches on Danny, but Danny, he always follows through, man. He's very simple, man. That's what I like about Danny Garcia. He's very simple, and he sticks to he sticks to the basics, and he's constantly following through on his punches. You can land a punch, but with his timing, even though if you land it, that you got maybe at least one punch coming right back at you. All right, man. Let me know what y'all think. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.